Guys, my name is Lisa, and this is my son Ian, and I want to thank Kenny for asking us to come here. When he messaged me one day and said, "Hey, you want to come to the thing?" And I'm like, okay. So I walked through my house and went and found Mark and my sister, and I said, "What thing am I going to?" I don't know. And then a little while later, he messaged me and said, "And if you want to talk at the thing," and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, "Mark, what does he want me? Does he want me to do a PowerPoint? Does he want me to do a poster board? What does this guy want? Where are you, Kenny? Thanks. Like, I don't know what this guy wants from my life. But this is my Ian, and Ian has a genetic disorder called Cockayne syndrome, and there's a really large list of characteristics, but when he was born, he looked like an average child, and when he started to develop, everything was very slow. He didn't sit up until he was almost a year. He didn't walk until he was about 2, and as his development started to not progress in a normal way, I started going to different doctors, and they would be like, I don't know, want to go see this doctor? When he was approximately 6, I went down to a hospital in Miami to go see a research scientist, and I knew that they were going to want to know any of the doctors that I had seen if they wanted to get different information. So I made a list of all the doctors that he had seen, and it was approximately 30. And still had no idea what was going on. Finally, when he was about 9 years old, they diagnosed him with the Cockayne syndrome, and at the time they told me that the average life was 12 and a half. I began to hysterically weep as we sat there with the doctor and my father and my husband and the doctor's assistant, and they were all flipping out that I thought I had done something, or that I was devastated. And I gathered myself together and I explained to them, "You guys don't understand. I know now what's going on, and I can take care of my child." And so I want to tell you that today Ian has just turned 26 in October. And sometimes we've had some pretty yucky doctors, but he blessed us with some really good doctors. But as the officer that was here said, there's only one person, one being that knows truly what's going on, and that's God. So I just want to tell you guys that don't ever lose hope, and don't ever keep on trying and being courageous. And Ian is the most courageous human being that I have ever met in my entire life. And he just, when I go to the doctors and I want to get blood, what do you tell them? What am I?
You're a chicken.
and he tells the doctors that whenever, my mom, we're a chicken. But when he goes, he puts out his arm and says, "Which arm do you want?" I mean, he just goes with the flow. He always has a smile on his face. And when my sister and Kenny's brother began to date, and our families started to get to know each other, once Kenny heard about Ian and his situation and got to find out some things about him, and was already working on the organization that he works with, he said, "I got to take this kid with me, and I want to do this." And getting Ian to 26 years old, I've had to be very protective and anal and OCD and hygienic, and there's so many things that are characterized by his disorder. He's had cataract surgery when he was about 9. He had a complete hip replacement when he was in his when he first turned 20. He has no subcutaneous fat. I asked the doctors if they would do a transplant, and they looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, joking. He doesn't have any temperature control, so in our wonderful Florida heat, he has a tendency to overheat. And then he's always cold. He wears warm clothes, long sleeves all the time in the air conditioning. And then another blessing for our wonderful Florida weather is that his body doesn't repair damage from UV rays. So I have to sun protect him all the time. So thinking of all that into consideration, when Kenny and Mark approached me about taking Ian, they knew my OCD, anal and protective ways, and they said, can we please take him with us? And they were like giving me all the list of things that they were gonna do. And Ian had he talked about it, first of all, for 3 weeks. Every human being that he came in contact with knew that he was going hunting. No matter whether they were stranger, friend, or foe, they knew that Ian was going hunting. He told everyone that he knew. A guy that these guys all went to high school with, and my siblings and Ian's father went to high school with, represents Realtree up in Tennessee, and he sent Ian the guard that he has on today, all this junk full of stuff.
Car.
An erased car.
Hat.
And so Ian, it got to be the day for Ian to go on his adventure. And he woke up that morning. Usually, I have to say, you got to get up. You can't sleep your day away. He was up before I was in his room getting all of his camo gear on, getting ready to go. And I was like, no, buddy, you got to take a shower. It's not till tonight. You got to eat dinner. Wait. So the day came, and he left to go on his adventure. Ian is very interesting because cognitively, with like academics and stuff, he is kindergarten, first grade. He also is like a teenager that needs their teeth knocked down their throat with, I know everything, you know nothing. Then he's also like my 94-year-old grandmother who wants to sit and take a nap and watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and the old black and white Lone Ranger and all of those kinds of things. So one of Ian's things with when he's in, having the mentalities of a little guy is that he always brings a buddy everywhere he goes to sleep. And when we were packing up and getting ready to go, the Mickey Mouse that he had chosen to bring with him slipped out of the backpack. And they were halfway down the road on their adventure, and I looked down and saw Mickey and said, oh no, we're gonna have an issue. So I called and I said, guys, we have an issue. Mickey is laying here on the floor. Ian's gonna have an issue later on. So there began to be a conversation, and Kenny said, yeah, we're not turning around right now. So we had another friend that Ian brought home, and this thing has not left his side since he got it. He's taken it everywhere with him. I asked him what his name was. He hasn't named him yet. So, you want to tell everybody what you did while you went on your adventure?
Yeah. Shooting and
Did you shoot anything?
no,
Why? Why not?
because there wasn't anything to shoot.
Now, I also must tell you that this was right before Christmas, and so my sister came up with this brilliant idea that we were basing our Thanksgiving dinner on what Ian brought home. Not Christmas dinner for us. But it's okay, he had a great super time, and this he also wanted to bring and show you guys that this was, so when there wasn't anything to shoot, they decided to do some target shooting. And this was his target, and if you can look and see, he got a bullseye his first time shooting. There's one more thing that really doesn't have much to do with hunting that Ian did, that I have not really ever allowed him to do, because he's a video game novice, and whenever he does any of the sports games and he's driving,
I go off the cliff.
he drives up the cliff. He doesn't stay on the path, he doesn't stay on the track, he's driving over the buildings. So, all of a sudden I received this video sent to me in the middle of the day, and Ian was doing what?
I was driving.
Yeah, I was having a hard time. Like, no, you guys don't know that he doesn't drive, but he actually did a pretty good job though. So I just want to tell you guys that anytime you get an opportunity to support somebody that's doing something awesome, do it, because you never know the lives that they impact and the wonderful things that can happen because of it. And I want to say thank you, Kenny. I appreciate you. You're an awesome